Victoria.
Here we go. We are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Geek Boutique podcast. That's right. We're three grown, middle-aged men that have trouble with technology and talk some shit for an hour. We're once again live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Doesn't matter where you are. If you want to ask some questions, get the chat going. You guys know we will answer you. Right out of London Comic Con, another busy con weekend, another crazy con weekend. Actually, we're going to talk a lot about London Comic Con today. Before we do get started, three amigos here. Actually, Psychoanalysis Cosplay Ali is saying hola amigos. That's right, the three amigos.
Hola.
First off, well, I don't know who's who here, but Mr. Messiah Complex Cosplay. How's it going, Jeff?
It's just a barrel of monkeys over here. And joining us as well, Rob the Bad Guy.
Back again.
I love how it's Rob the Bad Guy now and not my buddy Rob anymore. This is great. He gets to be his own person.
I'm blossoming into a real person.
You know, I was really hoping that my buddy Rob would stick like Producer Jen, but apparently, you know, Producer Jen rolls better off the tongue than my buddy Rob. So,
Producer Jen, come on.
You know.
There's our friend Megan. Oh, and there's Jamie.
Megan's joined. Jamie's joined. Hello, Jamie.
An enormous help at the booth this weekend.
Oh, wow. I mean, maybe we should start there.
Yep.
We decided that we were going to go to London Comic Con, but we were invited. We mulled it over a little bit, and basically after they twisted our arm, wink, wink, we decided that we were going to go to London Comic Con 2022. Never even been to London Comic Con before. Didn't really know what to expect. Didn't know what the venue was like. Basically, we needed some help. And Jamie was like, I'll help you guys. And left her kid at home with, you know, her fiance. Jumped in the car with us. Came to spend the weekend in London in a hotel room with a bunch of crazy guys. So, yeah, Jamie, you know, you rocked. Thank you so much for helping out.
She rocked the booth table all weekend.
She really did. She
did
really
an amazing job.
Yeah. She's our new what was it called?
What's her title?
Well, I think if Producer Jen is Director of Operations, I would assume she would be like the assistant to the Director of Operations, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think she's more like warehousing and fulfillment manager or something like that.
We're 100% all coming up with titles, and mine cannot just be asshole. By the way, we have to come up with legit titles for everybody.
Hey, listen, we do this for fun, guys. We, you know, the Geeks and Company is there to entertain. We're there to be there for the community as well as have some fun. So, you know what? I mean, yes, we're gonna make up titles and we're gonna laugh about it. So, cheers, everybody.
Cheers
a little drink to Director of Operations, Jen.
Cheers to our Director of Operations. Not swelling that head at all.
Ill-gotten hugs. Hey, bud. Apparently, he was also at London Comic Con, and I missed him again.
See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, sometimes, even though the venue is, although I will admit, and this is no slight to our friends at London Comic Con, that venue is garbo. That is not a good venue, and unfortunately,
there were vendors in little rooms, like under escalators, and I was like, what?
It's too segregated. It's not the other venue that is typically get used is not super great either, but believe it or not, I think it's actually better than this one. It's not as nice. It's an older building, but that RBC Center is just not good.
So why do they do it there instead of the other venue? Is it a money thing?
So the funny thing is, so that there's two cons. There's a Forest City Comic Con and a London Comic Con, and they're two separate entities. So London gets two cons a year. And when the cons first came out, Forest City Comic Con was in the venue that we were in, and London Comic Con was actually at the Western Fair, which was a much bigger space, a much bigger area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, back to the Agriplex. And then Forest City Comic Con ended up going to Centennial Hall, which is the other one that's there, which is the smaller venue, but it's only on 2 floors. And for whatever reason, London Comic, well, I know the reason, but I'm not going to get into it because it's long and drawn out. They moved into this venue, thinking it would be a better spot for them, and it's just not. It's not laid out to facilitate a Comic-Con. There's too, like you said, there's too many off rooms. There's too many corners to go around. There's too much separation. Having the one big room upstairs is nice, but it's not enough. So I don't know. I don't know what the alternative is here.
Yeah, I mean, the one big room upstairs is great. It's just not big enough for the size of con that they're putting together.
No. And
they would need double that floor space, really.
They had locked into this place for 5 years, but that was pre-pandemic. So I don't know how that works. But the key that they wanted to do, the venues they were using before wouldn't give them the same date year after year. The venues that they were using kept on shifting the dates around depending on what other things were happening. This place was the first place that would give them the same date year after year after year, like your Fan Expo, like your Toronto Comic Con, right? The same weekend, essentially. So...
really, Thunder Bay Expo had. Sorry, go ahead.
No. You go.
Freakish was just saying. Sorry, it's Thunder Bay Expo he was at. He was saying so. Thunder Bay Expo had 2 buildings separated by a big parking lot, but it felt nice and small and connected. I mean, I will say that about London Comic Con is it didn't feel like a big giant con, but it was still packed with people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like it didn't feel like it would take me 2 hours to get from one building to the next. Because we didn't have to go from one building to the next. I could still just go downstairs and visit the Doctor Who booth or whatever was going on. But there was still a lot of people and there was still constant traffic and, so.
Yeah, and that's what Megan's saying, really. She's like, I like this location way better than where Forest City is. Toxic Fox was saying, there are definitely people I didn't even see because I was upstairs. And that's more what I'm talking about is the level of separation. Hypergate saying, used to be in the Progress Center in Agriplex, it has better flow in general. Yeah, especially the Agriplex. So there's a huge group of buildings here called the Western Fair, and they have a giant, like a huge place called the Agriplex. And the last year London Comic Con was at the Western Fair. That's where they had it. It's just one giant fucking room, which I think is the best way to hold a Comic Con,
for sure.
As opposed to having all this, separation and segregation and such. But yeah.
That was the first time that I've been to London Comic Con, and even like Fan Expo, I realized it's significantly larger con, but they had all the same problems. This is just on a smaller scale, right?
Yeah,
fair enough. I mean, from the north building to the south building.
Yeah, and even people packed into like under the escalators and in nooks and crannies and
well, when you're drawing 160,000 people, you got to put them somewhere. Somewhere, right? So. And London just doesn't have a big, like the next biggest venue would be like the arena, like the Budweiser Gardens. But I mean, you'd really have, but I mean, most of that is just, well, I mean, you could probably, I guess you could, I don't know how much floor space would be available there. It's mostly like,
I imagine it would cost a lot more though.
It would be insane. Yeah. It would be sick.
Yeah. An arena would be way more expensive. Yeah. Rachel Z here on Facebook Rachel Z is saying, that would suck, especially if it was raining. I'm assuming you're talking about the 2 buildings being separated by a parking lot. Yeah, I can only imagine if you've got a con going on and it's pouring rain and then you got to cross a big giant parking lot to get from one building to the next. It's like, well, screw it. I'm not even going to go to the other building, right? And that's where you get people that spent the weekend there and didn't see other people that spent the weekend there.
Yeah, and it's thrive on that. Like Dragon Con is in 8 hotels.
Yeah, I don't get that.
And some of them aren't even connected. Like some of them, like there's a jump between kind of thing. So if that's. And I get it, because sometimes you would be able to segregate it out so that, all the anime is here, and then all the vendors are here, and then all the celebs are here. So you can kind of pick and choose what you're going to see and what you're not. But then at the end of the day, it's too much, man. Just give me one big fat building. There's a shit ton of comments. There's so many comments.
Hypergate says they have a contract at the RBC place right now, so we'll have to see to the future.
Part of the reason why they didn't is because of the Western Fair. No, it's they didn't care what the weekend was. They used to have it in October for London Comic Con. They didn't care what the weekend was. They just want to make sure it was the same weekend every year, and the fair couldn't give them that because they do so many different events at the fair over the course of the year. I guess Calgary Expo had 2 massive buildings, so I'm used to Expo being split. I have heard Calgary Expo is across several buildings. I didn't think it was 2. I thought it was like more than that. Yeah, same. Dork side. I was at Fan Expo for 4 days and never went to the North Building. Yep.
Same. I mean, we had to go to the North Building because we were parked in the North Building, but other than just walking through it to get to our booth, we didn't spend any time in the North Building.
No. Although Director of Operations Jen says, I have to say the people who worked at the RBC place that helped during setup were A++++.
They really were.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
So let's start there. So we show up in London on, when was it? Friday, I want to say. So first of all, there was a shit ton of traffic driving to London. Okay, traffic from Oshawa to London was ridiculous. We were stuck in traffic the whole way. We had to stop. I think we stopped twice on the way up. It ended up taking us like 3.5 hours to get to frickin' London. So we finally get there, and people were super nice and like, yeah, just come and unload and blah, blah, blah. And okay, cool. So bring the cars to the loading dock, and we start unloading shit, and their staff is taking our stuff and putting it on carts. We're like, okay, cool. Yeah. So they're even loading the carts for us. That's amazing. First thing I know, they're taking off with the carts, and they're going to our booth to drop them off at our booth. And it's like, wait a second. Are you going to set up for us as well?
Just kick back with a cigar. And
like they were amazing. I mean, they were.
You got this.
Oh, yeah. They were go. And they were taking all our stuff up. They did a bunch of trips, making sure that we got all our stuff to the booth. They were really good. They were quick. And then after the fact, you saw a lot of them roaming the show with their RBC Place vests on or sweaters or whatever they were shirts, and they were all into it, right? Like they were taking pictures at the 501st booth, they were taking pictures at our booth, and they were, so yeah, the staff at RBC Place was
on point.
I mean, yeah, those guys are amazing. The London Comic-Con staff, I'm not going to talk shit about any other convention, but I will say this: the London Comic-Con staff knows what they're doing. They have their shit. Hey! There she is. She just got home. They have their shit together. They know what they're doing. They're organized. There's no messing around. They're on the ball.
Yeah, that's what Brittany's saying there too. They had volunteers asking if we vendors needed breaks too, which was nice. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, listen, it was really, really nice.
Hi, producer Jen. It's director of operations. Thank you. Let's not mess with the titles.
So yeah, London Comic-Con overall, if you're a vendor, highly, highly, highly recommend.
Unless you get stuck in some little room in some.
Well, unless you get stuck in some little room under an escalator somewhere. Yeah. That was. Yeah, I don't know, because they weren't getting any traffic there. Like we went through in our Predator costumes, and the artists are just standing talking around to each other. Upstairs, it's rammed, and the artists downstairs are just twirling their thumbs, and it's like, oh man, poor guys. Like, I bet you people didn't even know they were there. Half of these little rooms, we didn't even know they were there. Anyway,
yeah, and stuff. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I've seen stuff like posts on Instagram from people that were there that I had no idea they were even there.
Yeah.
Megan says that Valkyrie girl says, you mean you didn't have an empty hall when you arrived at the end of load-in time? No, exactly. So, it has happened where we...
The good news is I found our spot. The bad news is there's
nothing there.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
No one was sure as hell trying to bring their shit to our non-existent booth at that con. I can tell you that.
Well,
no, it was more like you have 10 minutes. Get in, get the fuck out.
Yeah, that's right.
To be fair, once we started bringing shit in, they got their asses in gear and they built our booth.
100%.
Once they realized, shit, there's somebody here.
Yeah.
They got things going, and but yeah, vendors, please make sure your tables are ready. The show starts in 5 minutes.
And we're like, tables.
What table? We don't have tables.
We don't have a booth.
So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah,
what it is.
Here we go. Photos by Ben Jam at Comic Con Fan Expo. One point, I headed to the North Building. One of the escalators was down. I remember that, leaving only one with a long wait just to get on. Turned and just headed back to Cosplay Alley. So the escalator went down halfway through the day and was down all the way through to the end of the day. So guys, imagine this, okay? I think it was on Saturday. It was either on Friday or Saturday.
Oh, no, it was on Saturday.
It's rammed with people, right? Like they overbooked Saturday. There was more people than they've ever had. The escalator goes down, and now you've got like 40,000 people trying to get out of the North Building off of one escalator.
It was a mess.
If it
what a
wasn't
friggin'
for
mess.
the fact that it was Fan Expo, if it wasn't for the fact that it was the biggest con in the country every year, I wouldn't even. It fucking sucks. Like the venue is terrible. Like even when you get to the South Building, you got to go down to like the ninth circle of hell by the time you're gone down like the 27 escalators to get there.
Yeah, sub basement 14. Yeah,
dude, it's awful. But again, same thing. It's the biggest venue there.
But it's a big space. Exactly. It's the biggest
right?
space in the city, right?
Yeah. So that's where they have it. And like idiots, we all go. And Jordan, oh shit, Pentacle cosplay 714. What's going on? Hey, buddy.
I feel like Jordan's turning a corner.
I think he is too.
He's joining earlier and earlier now.
He saw how cool this is, and he's like, I got to get in this earlier. I don't care what I get.
So, London Comic Con was a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. Toxic Fox says my booth buddy refuses to bend at FanX. Sorry, because it's a nightmare setup and teardown. Yep. Setup wasn't too bad. Teardown.
Yeah, I had like anxiety about London simply from what happened at the teardown from Fan Expo, but it was not even comparable.
No, because at London Comic Con, like literally, we just took the escalator right down to our cars and loaded our cars and left.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From that standpoint, it was amazing. But
yeah, Fan Expo's like, if you're not out by 10 o'clock, we're just gonna throw your shit out the front door.
Well, and by the way, we timed this perfectly to shut it down when the Jays game's ending and some other massive thing. So
it
took us like an hour just to turn the corner, 2 blocks.
Just to get out of
the North
it was ridiculous. There were 3 events going on at the same time. There was a Jays game.
There was the X.
Oh, the X. That's it. It was the X to boot that weekend. It all
closed at the same time.
Yeah, it all closed at the same time. So you had all these people trying to get out of town. So yeah, it was ridiculous. But hey.
Anyway.
So London Comic Con. Let's forget about Fan Expo. London Comic Con.
Fuck Fan Expo.
No. Listen, Fan Expo is amazing. I love Fan Expo. Fan Expo is my con. That's the one that it is. It's the biggest con in Canada, right? So
of course.
Back to London
for now.
But London, so London was a 2-day thing. Luckily, we were able to not only unload but set up everything on Friday. We were also lucky that we were assured that that room on the second floor overnight was locked. So they were going to lock that room, which meant that if something got stolen, it was stolen by a vendor, right? Somebody that was there before they emptied the crowd. So, they were locking the room. There was security there all overnight. And then Saturday morning when we got there, it was just a matter of setting up, getting into our Predator costumes. And the crowds hit real early, real fast. Like Saturday morning the show technically opened officially at 10. By 10, it was already rammed.
I'm pretty sure there was quite a big lineup there even before 10. When I went to meet Jeff outside, there was a giant lineup there, was there not?
There was.
Yeah, which was good.
Yep. Jeff's so angry. Jeff need nap. Correct. On both accounts. Sorry, I can't tape. Have complex. It's Toxic Fox. Yeah, we're all suffering. Victoria, it was so scary walking amongst the Jays fans after being in Happy Nerdy Land. William saying, it took me over 2.5 hours to get home from Fan Expo on Sunday. I don't know where you are, William. Corey saying us Jays fans don't bite unless we're very nice unless they lose. Ariana saying that always happens though. Plus the millions of kids coming out of Disney on Ice when it's around. Victoria saying, unfortunately, I think the Jays lost that day. And then that wasn't a good time for us.
Surprise.
Sorry.
Big surprise. The Jays of. Anyway.
Don't yell at us. It's not our fault. We're just nerds. We don't care what your sport ball did.
Yeah. So, Jeff, unfortunately, you weren't with us on Saturday.
Just rub it in, why don't you?
And I kind of feel like Saturday is the day where all the really, really cool stuff happens.
Yep. I'm just going to sit back and you guys take it.
I'm not trying to rub it in, but I'm not trying to be a jerk. What are you doing? It's like, but on Saturday, not only did, first of all, a bunch of people showed up, which was amazing. I love that people show up and just come and hang out. It means the world that you guys would just, basically come and hang out at our booth. That's why we do it. But on Saturday, I don't know, 11:30, this lady comes through the con, and she basically, is like, I'm like, yes, knocking on my helmet. She's like, Dane and Dakota can hear you, but they can't see you. You need to go to their table. Okay, cool. But there's like a crowd, right? Like we're taking pictures and, So at one point I'm like, okay, Jen, go make sure that they're there. And if they're both there, we'll head that way. So, by the way, folks, if you don't know who Dane and Dakota are, we're talking about Dane DeLegro and Dakota Beavers. Dane DeLegro being the Predator in the new Prey movie. And Dakota playing... Damn, I always forget the name of the character.
The brother.
He plays Naru's brother in the movie. And as we're coming up to their table, Dane pulls out his phone and starts filming us and does a reel for his Instagram, which we promptly downloaded and posted everywhere. So I'm sure you guys have all seen that. But he was basically filming us coming. And then he just came out from behind his table, and so did Dakota. We chatted for like 15, 20 minutes and shook hands and took pictures and talked about the our suits. We didn't really get a whole lot of time to get into his suit, which is what I really wanted to know about. Luckily, at the end of the day, me and Rob were in the back. We've had enough, right? It's like, I don't know, 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock or whatnot, and we've had enough, and we're tired, and we just want out of the suits. So we get undressed, and we change, and we're having a bite in the back because we've got our own little change room next to our booth. So
I don't even have my shoes on at this point.
And neither did I. I was barefoot. My feet were hurting so bad that for sure I didn't have any shoes on. And Jen comes running in the back, mouth full of crackers. He's at the booth. Get out there. We're like, what? She's like, Dane is out there. Yeah. So put my shoes on and you run out there. And yeah, Dane and Dakota were just at our booth hanging out. And they hung out for another like half hour at the booth.
Yeah.
Just chit-chatting and talking and
checking out our merch and
and
videos. And
Dane was showing us like pictures and videos off his phone. He showed us little clips that he caught that didn't actually make the movie. Talked about the suit, how the suit was made, and his experience in the suit. The video of him sweating in the suit.
Yeah.
I mean, we thought we were hot in our suits. He showed us this clip of him flexing his arm and sweat just pouring out. It's like wringing out a cloth. It's nasty. Yeah,
he's in that for like 16 hours in a day.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, he's paid handsomely for it, and you nerds do it for free. So
he is
100% for a couple $100,000. Yeah,
100%. He is wearing a headpiece, a animatronic headpiece that weighs like 15 or 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So one of the things he was telling us is the whole time he's filming, he's looking down. The Predator's head is on his head, and it looks up, and he's looking through the neck. So when he's filming, he's looking down at his feet. So the whole movie, he's not looking ahead at all. He's looking at his feet. So he's having to do everything looking down. So he's saying, spending 13 hours a day looking down at the ground with 15, 20 pounds on your head. He had to train, I think he said, for how long was it? Do you remember?
3 months he had to train his neck.
It's 3 months or 6 months or whatever it was. He had to train his neck just to be able to support the headpiece. And he said he still has neck pains from it. Yeah. So I think, whatever they paid him, they got him at a deal as far as I'm concerned, because he's probably going to have neck pains for the rest of his life from that damn thing. But it looked friggin' amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Ali says, saw it, as in Dane's video. Jamie says, the boys are here, which is what, Dane is saying that to Dakota. He goes, hey, Dakota. And he's filming, and he turns towards us, and he's like, the boys are here. So I thought that was pretty neat. They were both super engaged all weekend. Really, really awesome to have them over. It really was. They were amazing. Forged by Light, y'all's Predator suits are fire. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I bet their physio and Cairo on set was wild. Dane was saying he did have, I can't remember if it was a physio.
I think it was
physio or a massage therapist, or he had somebody on set working with him every day. Because yeah, I can only imagine. Like, he must have been in horrible pain every day.
Moisturizing.
Every day. I must have been ridiculous.
Takes a little bit more than moisturizer.
Moisturize me.
Yeah, exactly. Loki Queen Cosplay says that'll kill your neck and shoulders.
Lower.
Yeah,
Lower.
Not that kind of masseuse, Rob. Not that kind of masseuse.
You don't know. You weren't on set.
Well, fair enough. I do not know. I was not on set.
He's a good looking dude.
We've got some comments on Facebook, and Rachel Z says, for pre-purchase pass holders, I was in line around the bend of the street. It was long, but my friend and I actually got through pretty quickly. I didn't see the lineup at all. Once we got in our suits, I mean, we went downstairs at one point, but it was later in the day, so there was no longer a lineup at that point. If it was anything like the Fan Expo lineups, yeah, I can imagine. I mean, the lineups can get pretty stupid. Again, photos by Ben Jammin Comic-Con. Thanks to Benjamin Barry, aka Iron Man, told me not to drive into Toronto, but catch the train in Burlington. Made life easier for sure. Although I very much doubt that Ben took the train in. There's no way he's carrying that Iron Man suit on a train. But maybe that was his experience. The traffic was stupid, and he's like, "Yeah, just don't."
The train is definitely the way to do it if you
for sure
got a lighter costume and you can do it.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, ladies, let's settle down. Director of Operations Janet saying, "Can you imagine working physio on a 7-foot tall predator?" And Jamie says, "Yes," and I have a great imagination.
Okay, settle down. Kid-friendly show here, guys. Kid-friendly show.
PG-13 and rated R territory here.
Gotta go through the Patreon to get to that show.
That's right. That's the after show.
Hey, listen, I want to keep talking about London Comic-Con, but I do want to quickly ask you guys, have you guys seen Andor yet?
I have not.
I have. I've watched all 3 episodes.
Okay, so you've watched all 3. Rob, you haven't watched any, and I watched the first 2 last night. Without spoiling it for Rob or for me, I've already had Geek Boutique After Dark. Yes. Yeah. So you have to sign up to Patreon. Yeah, you'll have to sign up to Patreon for that one. I watched the first 2 episodes, and although I liked it, it had a bit of a different feeling than I was expecting, which I don't know why, but the first 2 episodes are very slow. Now, from what I understand, the 3rd episode is not slow whatsoever, and it's basically a springboard to basically nothing but action. And from what I understand, there's going to be a lot of action coming in the next few weeks. But what are your impressions so far? Yes, I'm talking to you, Jeff.
Rob, what are your impressions so far?
I haven't seen it yet. I have not seen it. I'm still watching episode 1 of Rings of Power last night, so I'm getting there. But
episode 1 of Rings of Power was horrible, horrible. Same thing. You need to get to episode 3 before things start happening.
And that's fairly typical for a lot of shows.
Yeah,
right? They gotta
some time. I didn't think it was horrible. Like, actually, I thought it was better than I anticipated, but. I'm more of a Game of Thrones type person than I am the Rings of Power.
For sure, House of the Dragon is way better than Rings of Power.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I suppose it depends on what you're more fan of, right?
Yeah, it's definitely better. What's my impressions of Andor? Yeah, I have concerns. I only have concerns because do you remember how we were talking beforehand? We were hoping it would be not hoping, but like maybe there would be a grander story that is playing out, even though it's called Andor. That Cassian Andor wouldn't necessarily be like the central focus of the action. And through 3 episodes, he absolutely is. Like there's no question. You're getting all of his backstory. You're getting all of his machinations, what he's into. Through 3 episodes thus far, it's really. I'm trying to think of a way to word it without sounding like I'm shitting on it, but it's kind of like I'm having a hard time figuring out. Like, obviously we all know where it's going, right? Like, this is 5 years, but 5 years BBY is what they call it, which for the uninitiated is battle
5 years before.
Battle,
yeah.
So it seems directionless. I can't see what, like, I don't know what's happened. Like, I don't know what, like, the rebellion doesn't exist yet. That's the key. So I know that's what we're going to see. We're going to see essentially the birth of the rebellion. But through the first 3 episodes, especially the first 2 you're talking about, JS, you can't see any of the linkage. Like, it doesn't, like, that doesn't look like what's being set up.
Well, the link's going to be Stellan Skarsgård.
Right.
I think.
No, clearly. No.
He's
So
obviously,
3, you'll see
he's part of the rebellion, right? And he's the one bringing Cassian into the rebellion.
Right.
And then once that happens,
Spoiler
I think
alert.
is where it's going to all, well, I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, right? I mean, I haven't even seen the 3rd episode. But that's my guess and assumption. I still think
I think that was fairly well established through the material and the trailers and such, right? That's sort of what the role was going to be. Yeah.
What are you thinking of those flashbacks?
I fucking hate them. It's already a prequel, which is the shittiest of the quills, right? The laziest of the quills is the prequel, and now you're putting flashbacks in my prequel, and it's like some weird fucking Lord of the Flies bullshit.
I feel like that needs to be a new T-shirt. It's the laziest of the quills.
It is. You already know where it all ends up. Shit, this one's even worse. We even know where this leads to a prequel. It's a prequel of a prequel.
Yeah.
So frustrating. So frustrating. Having said that, I will say 2 things about it, and then I will stop my ranting. One, it's beautifully shot. Absolutely
it really is
gorgeous. And I don't know who's doing the score. I keep meaning to look it up, but the music is
it's really good. It's really good.
Cinematic music. It's like, it's literally, it doesn't feel like the music from, like, the Mando music is cool and it's iconic, but it still feels like a television. Like, you keep getting that same bum 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 bum. Like, you keep getting that same refrain over and over again to let you know that you're watching. But this stuff is like, it's changing for every scene to help set the mood and the tone, and it's huge. They did a really, really good job with the score. Just, if you don't like the Cassian Andor character, I dare say after watching 3 episodes, I don't like him any more now than I did going into it. So I have a feeling this one's going to be a bit of a struggle for me.
And that's the first thing that I said, because okay, so can we spoil, like, the opening scene?
Well, I don't know, like that. Yeah, should you?
Can we spoil though? But it's the opening scene of the damn show. I'm going to spoil the opening scene of the show. Okay,
right,
I'm going to do that right now. Cassian shoots a guy, and I'm like, the first thing I said, I turned around to Jen and I'm like, they're not really trying to make us like this guy any more than we already did, do they?
Dude, his first scene in Rogue One, he does the exact same thing. He kills an unarmed, wounded guy.
Yeah.
The dude is not a good guy.
No, he's not a good guy at all. And I'm wondering if that's not what they're trying to show the other side of the metal, right? Like, the 2 extremes are no better than...
Stop making Jeff so angry, called it.
Because Jen yesterday was like, oh my God, Jeff's going to hate these flashbacks.
I don't hate it. I just don't love it.
So I'm confused here. Should I watch it or not?
Too. So
yes, 100%.
After the first episode, I was not sure if I was going to continue. Second episode, interest is increasing. The 3rd episode, I can tell you, like JS is alluding to, it definitely... It still doesn't get where it's going by all means. Like, it's not, but it's much more action packed. There's a lot more, I guess, things happening. There's consequence of the first 2 episodes in the 3rd episode. So,
but this is a long season though, isn't it?
He did Corella Succession. Don't look up. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, whoever's composing that, I'm gonna have to look up some other work of his, because holy snapping, the music's really good. Yeah, sets are pretty. Yep. That opening. Yeah, the opening scene where he goes to the bar or whatever. Yeah, like, it's gorgeous. It looks like it's cranked right out of a movie. I don't know. Are they using the volume for this one too?
I don't know.
That might be interesting to find out. because it kind of the way the epicness of the sets, it's either CG or it's the volume for sure. Like,
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of buildings for being in the volume.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Mando,
I don't know.
There's a lot of like Mando goes to like a bunch of different planets and shit, like water worlds and fucking desert worlds.
Yeah, but you don't spend a lot of time in big towns with a bunch of buildings. It's mostly small towns and open areas and fields and forests, and you know what I mean. So I don't know.
The worlds in the galaxy, stunning work. Yeah, like I said, I think they've maybe learned their lesson a little bit from the Book of Boba Fett, where we're not just gonna have it in one fucking town the whole time. We're gonna.
I will say this:
travel around a bit.
Andor looks and feels like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Where a lot of the newer stuff, I felt like part of what is disengaging me is it doesn't feel and look like Star Wars to me anymore. Don't get me wrong, Mando 100%, Book of Boba Fett for sure. I'm talking about more the movie side of things.
Oh,
it didn't feel Star Wars to me. This does.
Okay. That's fair.
The epicness of the music, the sets, the look of the old dingy, grimy, there's an old quality to Star Wars, right? There's an old beaten up, dingy quality to it, which I think they've really hit the nail on the head in this show. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where they go. This seems to say StarWars.fandom.com is a wiki type site. It seems to be saying that there's 24 episodes.
Really?
Just go to IMDb. Just go to IMDb. IMDb will tell you exactly how many. I know there's already a second season.
I thought the trend was to reduce the episodes.
It typically is.
Surprised they're not at 4 episodes
now. Now I have the damn Mandalorian song stuck in my.
Yeah, me too.
Damn, I'm so sorry. That's my bad. That's 100% my bad.
It's all your fault. It's always Jeff's fault.
It's always Jeff's fault. 100%.
This doesn't say 13.
What?
Sorry, 13 episodes.
Oh, sorry. I see what they're talking about.
No, that's not it.
Yes. So there are 24 episodes total because it's already been renewed.
Oh. Looks like we may have lost Jeff.
Oh, right? Really?
No.
There you are. You're back now.
Back.
There's 12 episodes in season 1.
Clogs in the tubes.
Okay, 12 episodes. Well, it's better than the 6 or 8 episodes that we've been getting of everything else lately.
No, the key is I guess Stellan Skarsgård let slip a few months ago that they were already starting to film or looking to start filming season 2 before the Disney had even announced that there was going to be a season 2 yet.
And they were already filming. Interesting.
Yeah. So the assumption is it'll be another 12 for season 2. So there's your 24, right?
Perfect. I mean, I prefer a couple of extra episodes.
It felt like a sharp contrast. Yeah, I keep seeing people refer to it as Star Wars for adults, which I apologize is to me is very anti-Star Wars, but again, it is a different take, so we'll see how it goes and see what happens. I mean, you had a sex scene.
Mm-hmm.
Has that ever happened in Star? Spoiler alert: you don't know who. I'm just saying there is a sex scene, an alluded to sex scene, some heavy petting, and then the next morning, like, "Where's my coffee? Make me a sandwich," kind of thing. So it's
you get a sandwich?
No, I asked. I never get one. I ask. No.
You can ask as much as you want, bud. But
so yeah, I don't know. Yeah. They're trying to make it gritty and grounded and such. And I'm like you, JS. I like that. It looks dirty and you like it. It even calls to mind Tatooine in the Phantom Menace. Even when they're on the planet, they're looking for the parts and everything else, and everything's just like grimy and like in the junkyard. Even like the whole that all looks great, and that's very reminiscent of that. But
yeah,
I don't know. We
haven't seen any sand yet, and we haven't seen Tatooine yet, so I'm good with that because it feels like every world in Star Wars is a desert planet or a snow planet.
Once you get up to the rim, I want to see more like the Empire-controlled, like the real Empire-controlled worlds, like the real core worlds, because we get to see Coruscant and we don't really get to see anything else, right? It's like you're saying, like we see Coruscant and then we kind of see all the rim worlds, like the Outer Rim stuff, or the French world.
We don't see a lot of the core worlds.
A lot of the other
No. Well, I mean, if they're under Empire control, I mean, there's no war going on there, right? I mean, that they're
Right.
under Empire control.
We
Now,
assume though
I
that
feel like a
mentioning
show,
unrest. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, a show like this that's going to explore, the birth of the Rebel Alliance. You're probably going to see more of the core worlds, crazy missions, suicide missions, bombing missions, into some of those core worlds. So we might actually get to see more of that in a show like Andor. You got to see more of that in Rebels.
Okay.
So that was one of the things of Rebels is it was in one of the core Empire controlled worlds. So yeah, I think we're gonna get to that. I do. His origins might be outside in the Outer Rim.
Yeah.
But he's quickly going to be involved more in the core worlds for sure.
For me, Mando, like that, the second season of Mando, probably my favorite episode was the Bill Burr episode in the second season when they go to the Imperial control world and they have to get to that terminal or whatever. That was such a great episode and really gives you a sense of even post Jedi how much the Empire still has and how dastardly they are. And this is not quite the height of the Empire's power, but it is, like, from what I understand, this isn't even like pre-Rebel Alliance. This is like there's certain little pockets of quote unquote resistance but they don't even know that each other exists. Like
I don't know.
Like, that's what I read. I
don't know, because you're 5 years before the Battle of Yavin. You're going to tell me that in 5 years they mobilize and they basically build an army? Like, I feel like at this point in the timeline, the rebellion already exists. It's the early years of the rebellion, but it has to already exist. So I don't know.
I understand, that's what Stellan Skarsgård's role is to take these little pockets that don't know about each other and to somehow bring them all together. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see.
That makes sense from a storyline perspective.
Yeah. It'll also be interesting to see if they somehow bring Ahsoka into this. Because Ahsoka...
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Ahsoka is?
No, I have no idea who that is.
Are you serious right now? Like, dude, go to bed. You're drunk.
A what? Ahsoka? Like an Italian dish?
So, Ahsoka...
That was me up until about a year ago. Like, who?
Yeah. She was Fulcrum. She was a rebel agent. She was basically one of those spies that would steal secrets from the Empire and pass it along to the Rebel Alliance. So again, it'll be interesting to see if they somehow include maybe a de-aged Rosario Dawson as a younger Ahsoka. I don't know.
Something for season 2, season 3, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of characters from Rebels.
So it doesn't bother you guys at all that we already know where this is going and then where it's going even from that. Like, you've got like the next 2 stages of this. Like that doesn't stick in your craw even a little bit, knowing
it does.
It's a prequel to a prequel.
It does.
Okay.
As long as they're telling a good story, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
If they're just telling a story to tell a story, you know how those typically go. But if they're actually going to tell a good story within that timeline, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to argue. I would have much preferred they go somewhere completely different.
Right.
A lot of people have been saying it, right? We need to get out of the Star Wars saga. We need to get out of that timeline. And I would be cool with that. If they're going to stay within the Skywalker saga timeline, they need to tell good stories.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they're telling good stories, I'm on board. When the stories start getting dumb, then I'm no longer interested.
I guess
pretty simple.
Find out.
So we're going to find out. Yeah, we're going to find out.
So do you want this to get all, like, do you want this show essentially to end at Rogue One? Like, is that the goal? Because that would be the next stage in the rebellion, right? The theft of the Death Star plans and the initial movement against, right? So is that what you would expect to see happen?
I don't know if we'll go that far. Yeah, I don't know if they'll go that far. I mean, if we're 5 years before the Battle of Yavin, Rogue One being in that year,
if it goes
5 years to explore,
it would be like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it went 4 seasons, if it would be like a year per season, this type of thing. Would that
maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I
guess the
feel like
opening
if it
shot of Rogue
ends
One.
with how Rogue One starts,
Well, that's how Rogue One ends, right? With the start of A New Hope, right?
it does.
Literally, you see Leia. You see
It literally does.
yeah. 4 or whatever that ship is and stuff. So
But
is that so? That's not something that you'd like to see. You'd want to see it end before it would
I
get
think
to that
so.
point? Okay.
I think so. Yeah, Rogue One was telling the story of that one offshoot line. A lot of good people died trying to get these plans. That's the story they were telling us.
No,
Right?
I get it.
It was one
It
line,
was,
so
yeah,
it
and
made
was-
sense
and
to
it was
end there.
a twist of the line because the line is actually Bothans. A lot of Bothans gave their lives for this data, and we don't actually
Yes.
see Bothans. So I mean, whatever. It's not. We're
Yes.
not going to slam them with cannon, but yeah, there's no line for this. Look, at the end of the day, if this ends up being a really cool Captain America, the Winter Soldier-esque taut political thriller over the course of, with Stellan Skarsgård up there just chewing the fuck out of scenery and Mon Mothma and all that jazz, I'm totally down for that. If it ends up being this quiet, bespoke character piece about Cassian Andor, get me the fuck out of there. Because no, thank you, sir. And that's what the first 2 episodes, that's what it looks like. And I'm hoping they just did that just to establish his character. And now they can start.
I hope so too, because he's not a likable character.
Sure isn't.
Like he's a fucking, like he's a murderer.
And he's just not. He's
a sleazy.
Yeah, that's
fucking.
It's weird that you don't really have a protagonist per se. I'm eager. You know what, JS? When you've watched the 3rd episode, I want you to message me and tell me your thoughts. Because, in my view, the more they put the focus on Stellan Skarsgård's character, the better.
100%.
He can absolutely put the show on his back and carry it throughout without any issue whatsoever.
100%.
Yeah. So
I would be totally okay with that.
Yeah. Anywho,
Crazy Mike says, "Hey boys, like Andor." Yeah, Mike messaged me last night after watching Andor.
Yes, he messaged me.
He's like, "Oh my god, this is so good."
Star Wars for adults.
So Mike loves it. Jennifer Walter House says, "Did you tell the story about Robert Picardo? Did I miss that part?" You did not miss that part. We will be getting to that very, 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 very shortly.
You pronounced her name wrong, by the way. Jennifer, Director of Operations.
Oh, sorry, Jennifer, Director of Operations. Right. Sorry.
Titles.
Hypergate Cosplay says, because they introduced Quill in Mando, I hope they introduce Quat. Such a cool world for the video games and books. I don't know who that is. Hope they bring it to the shows. I don't know who Quat is. I'm sorry. I also want Old Republic content.
It's a slight on that man, sir. Andor does not look like Patrice Bergeron. That is incorrect, and shame on you.
Well, he kind of does a little bit, to be fair.
No, he doesn't.
Kind of does a little bit.
No.
And where we go from both of those is Mando. Where we go from both? I don't know. Sorry, Megan is saying that I'm not understanding what Megan is talking about. Hypergate Cosplay says the Acolyte will help scratch that itch, though. Something different. I hope so. The Acolyte is supposed to be in a little bit of a different timeline. Not super far off, but from what I understand, it will be a couple 100 years earlier. So hopefully that'll be good. Yeah, Andor looks like Petrus Bergeron. He kind of does.
No.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, stop it. Yeah. Awful. You all ought to feel ashamed of yourself. Mike messaged me too. Apparently, Mike just put everyone on blast for his opinions and thoughts on Andor.
He says, I messaged everyone.
Yeah, I think Megan is saying after Andor and Rogue One is Mando. It's not actually. Mando is post Jedi, so it would literally be it would be Andor and then Rogue One and then A New Hope and then Empire and then Jedi and then Mando. Yeah. Yes, he did. Yeah, I'm sure he messaged you too, Michael. Yep. Yeah. Mikey was excited. He watched his 3 episodes, and to be fair, he's just not just like me. Slap me if I ever say that again. But he's very particular about, and he doesn't like new things. He only likes old shit. So the fact that he's actually into this is,
hey, that's okay, man. I mean, listen, these shows all can't be for everybody, and that is okay. If you don't like a show, it's okay. If you love a show, it's okay.
He kind of looks like Bergeron. I'm done arguing with you, simps. I don't even know what to tell you.
He kind of does.
Awful. I'm gonna kill all of you. It's terrible.
He kind of does. So let's get off of Andor for a quick second here, and let's get back to London Comic Con. So we're still on Saturday. we're in the middle of the day, and we've already met Dane and Dakota, and we're just walking down the aisles. So just so you guys understand, so we've got our booth, and it's crazy. People want to take pictures, and craziness is happening, and then all of a sudden it slows down. Right throughout the day, you've got periods where it slows down. So we don't just want to stand there because it's hot in these suits. It's hard on your feet. It's hard on your legs. So you want to move around a little bit. So it's like, okay, let's go walk around. As we turn the corner where the celebrities are, and I can't really see, right? I've got my helmet on, and I can only see this much. And I see this guy with a hat and a mask on, and he's like, "Oh, can I film? Can I do a thing with you guys?" Can I do a thing with you guys? It's like, yeah, sure. He was from the other side on the celebrity side of things. So I was like, okay, so this is one of the celebrities who wants to do something with us. So sure, come on down. So he comes over and turns the corner, and he pulls his mask down. He's like, okay. He's like, I want to film a video. Let's go over here. And I'm like, wait, what? Wait a second. What the fuck?
I'm like, yeah, come on, we're going to film a movie. And Jess like, wait, what? What the fuck? Who's that?
And it was Robert Picardo. So he wanted to film this little clip. So we took a couple pictures with him, and then we filmed this little clip that he didn't get the shot that he wanted. I was kind of able to, from what Jen was filming, I was kind of able to replicate. No, not Jen. Was it Jen that was filming? I can't remember who was filming that shot, but I was kind of able to get the angle that he was looking to get for his TikTok, and I made the TikTok. So, we got to meet Robert Picardo. For those of you that don't know, Robert Picardo, the doctor on Voyager, Star Trek guy. Even Rob knew who he was.
Yeah, Voyager was the only Star Trek show I watched from beginning to end. That was my Trek show. And I know everybody hates it, or lots of people don't like it, but that was the one that
only JS hates it, and he's wrong. That's all.
So to be fair, I don't hate Voyager. I just think it's one of the bottom tier shows in the list of Star Trek shows.
And you're probably right.
It's not Discovery bad, but
look at the view count just plummeting.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! Here they are about Star Trek again. Here goes another.
Here we go. Heard this one before.
Yeah. He will always be Johnny Cab to me. That's who Robert Picardo is to me. If for the old folks, if you're familiar with Total Recall, the original Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was the Johnny Cab. He was on screen for all of about 5 minutes, but it was fantastic. They molded his face on some animatronic thing, and he had all these great lines. And yeah, Rob is a closet Trekkie, very closet.
Yeah, very closet,
extremely closet.
Jennifer here is saying that Jamie was actually filming that, and then Jamie was saying his handler didn't understand. His handler wasn't understanding what Robert Picardo was asking him to film, and you could tell he was getting annoyed at him.
He was getting very annoyed with him. Yeah.
Like you could tell he's like, dude, like how do you not understand what I'm trying to get here? And he's like, all right, whatever. And then he ran away. He didn't run away, but that Valkyrie girl Megan says, okay, that's so cool. He seems like a fun dude. He really is. He was really, really fun.
A little weird.
He is a little weird,
like a little out there. Yeah. Which I appreciate, but yeah.
I mean,
he doesn't mind letting his freak flag fly. That's for sure. He's an odd one. That one.
The what's his name? Cisco. Avery.
Avery Brooks.
Avery Brooks. He's weird.
He's gone a little past weird now.
Yeah, he's he's
cuckoo. He's off.
Yeah, he's off his rockers a little bit, but
yeah,
you know what? It doesn't affect how much I enjoyed his performance as Cisco.
No,
same with Robert Picardo. If he's a little weird, I'm cool with that because you know what? I'm a little weird. So
a little.
I don't have a problem with that. He was nice to us. He said,
took a picture.
Super, yeah. We didn't pay for the picture. He was like, took some pictures and did the video, and
I would sit down and have a conversation with Robert Picardo. Avery Brooks, I might be like, is there an escape route? Like, has I got like an easy way to get out of here? If I'm not wrong, he was also on Orville. He was Alara's dad. Yes, he was Alara's dad. Yeah, I think he was only on just the 2 episodes there, but yes.
Oh, was he really?
Yep.
I did not know that. I must have missed it. Was that in one of the early seasons?
The first season, yeah, because Alara leaves at the end of the first season. So.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's that negative guy says 1 fry short of a Happy Meal.
That would be that native guy. That would be Tim.
Did you guys see the pic he took with DOA cosplays Greta the Gremlin? I did see him with the Greta the Gremlin picture. I mean, it feels like it's made the rounds. It's an amazing pictures. I don't know who posted it, but I've seen it from multiple sources. It's pretty good. I heard he asked to take that shot and apparently took the picture and sent it to the director or somebody involved in one of the original Gremlins.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I really wanted to snag a picture with the gremlin, but I didn't get the opportunity.
No, I mean they were walking around at one point, but by the time we saw them, like they never stopped at the booth, right? So
yeah,
sometimes when people are walking by and you're seeing them, but you got a lineup of people that are waiting.
Yeah, and we might have been somewhere else. I sent them a message
that too.
When I knew they were going to do that. I said, "Oh, you got to stop by the Geeks and Co booth. I want a picture," but couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Some other time.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying earlier, like there's a bunch of people that we see pictures coming out, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know that person was there.
Yeah, like Faz Guardian. Apparently, he was there.
Faz Guardian was there. I didn't see him.
I didn't see him at all.
He was steps from the booth, and I pointed to where the booth. I ran into him, and I pointed to where I'm like, yeah, we're right down there. He's like, yeah, cool. Never came to the booth.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't see him at all. There was another guy in the Love and Thunder Thor get up.
There were 3.
Oh, there were 3. Okay.
So one of the other ones is in the chat right now. So Corey J. Carter was one of them.
Correct.
And then another gentleman named Chris Borges was a third one. He was the one that was the cat. He had like the trucker hat on as well as.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I saw him.
No. Okay. So the other one that you saw was definitely Corey, and he spent some time at the booth with the rest of the.
That I didn't notice. Yes, I didn't know who he was on the spot. Or somebody may have said something, but in the commotion and it's
the commotion.
And wearing the Predator mask, like mine's got some super glue on the lens. Like I can barely see anybody.
You can't see a lot. You can't hear a lot. People can't hear you. It's yeah, it can be tough sometimes. Tony DeBella says, "Hey guys." Oh, I love that xenomorph there. Are you actually working on xenomorph?
All 3 of us are like, "Oh shit, look at that xenomorph!"
Look at that xenomorph. Who is this guy?
I'm assuming this is also him as well. Hey guys, enjoyed the Predator costumes. Thank you so much. If you're working on a xenomorph costume, you should be getting in touch with us.
Yeah, reach out.
Reach out because that is a project that we've been thinking about putting into place. If there's already somebody doing that.
The super secret project we weren't going to be talking about. Is that
well, no, that's not it.
Oh, that's not it.
No.
What? I don't even know what it is then. What the hell is the super secret project?
It's not that it's super secret. It's just that we don't necessarily want to talk about it until we're actually doing it.
Okay, cool. Just tell me, right? I may not be the director of operations.
We have told you actually.
Oh, you have? All right.
Yeah. You just can't remember, but we have told you. When I tell you, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's right.
You fucking old man. You just
no. You
anyone going to Niagara?
Was the USMC from?
Oh wow.
Sorry. So Tony DeBellis was the USMC guy from Saturday with the face, the chest buster coming out of his armor. I remember now. Yes. I love that. Actually, I've been printing some flexi chest busters.
Well, that's what I want to work on for next year. I want to work on a Hudson USMC, so I might have to get in touch with Tony there and get some tips from him on his.
Yes. His was pretty good. It was really, really good. Jokes on Quote says, anyone going to Niagara Falls Horror Fest? Unfortunately, I am not. Jeff, are you?
No, sir. No, I think Hamilton will be the last one. I have some other gigs lined up in October, but no cons. So I think Hamilton Comic Con this Sunday will be the last con.
Jamie heard me.
Somebody here, Ice K Voice. I never remember her actual name. Says,
Allie.
I got a picture with the strongest Avenger. So what's her name?
Allie.
Oh, that's
AI.
also Ali. Is that the same as Psycho in? It is the same.
Same.
Perfect. Good to
We
know.
interviewed her on the podcast.
That Valkyrie girl saying seeing is key for recognizing people. Well, yes, for sure. But it's kind of a weird sensation when you're in the mask. It's almost like you're in a little tiny world. As silly as that sounds, like your world is this big, and stuff is happening around you, and it's just noise.
And it's
right?
black and white.
It's black and white noise, right? Like when you take your mask off, it's like all of a sudden you're seeing in 4K, and you can see down the hall, and you know what I mean? Like it's
colors
very
are so vibrant, and
it's a very you laugh, but it's a very weird experience being in that helmet for 6 hours and then taking it off, and then realizing, oh, there's a bunch of stuff going on, right? Like it's quite strange. So, guys, if we don't recognize you at the con, or we're not saying hi, or it's not because we're ignoring you, but it sometimes is a lot to process when, like I said, it's just noise and this, right? So
they're so high.
And they're so high.
Well, there's that too. I got yelled at for it and didn't even know. Jamie says, I don't know what that means. Magic Mike, I don't know what that means either. Michael says, I'll be there at Hamilton on Sunday.
I will see you there, my friend. That is also when I will be there. The
Thor's
colors,
Worthy Cosplay
man.
says, hey guys.
The colors are so vibrant.
I mean, they are when you're wearing like sunglasses for.
I just love how
shit on
she's.
them for.
I love
8
how she's
hours
dick
and
punching you
take 'em
guys
off.
over being super high at the con the whole time. That's great.
But and the worst part is to be fair, at London Comic Con we weren't. Like
Weren't really.
it's so busy, it was so hectic, it was so go.
Yeah, Fan Expo.
Fan Expo. I mean, we were on our feet for 4 days, man. We needed some pick me up during the day because
Yeah. An Elegant Weapon. What's going on, brother? Good to see you, Jay. Nice to see you. That's a great podcast you guys should listen to, by the way. An Elegant Weapon. Amazing.
Hey, Keith is in the chat as well.
Yep.
But you guys had a good time at London Comic Con. The pics were amazing. Thanks, bud. Thanks for coming by. It's always great seeing you. His Superman his suit is legit. It looks really good.
Yeah. It's awesome.
It looks really good.
Yep. He's like a mega, like once you follow his account, you see how much Superman merch he has. Like he's like a mega fan for sure.
Mm-hmm. Rachel Zed says, I don't know if you guys saw me, but I was Scarlet Witch on Saturday. Were you the one that was then looking for Mike on Sunday? Because Mike had taken a picture of you on his phone. Let me know if that was you. Because there were a bunch of Scarlet Witches on Saturday. Tony says, sweet, your Flexi Buster's next project going to be a smart gunner and reworking of the Xeno soon. I want to see the Xeno.
Yeah. So that was the same.
She says, yes, I was. Okay, so there you go.
So she was the one that was with the other Doc Ock.
That's
right.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I think Rachel on Sunday you just had the headpiece on, right? And then your friend was the Lady Doc Ock with the.
That's very
Like
possible.
she was there on Saturday in full, and then on Sunday was.
And then on Sunday just had the headpiece. Yeah. Yep. I remember.
Guys, we've been on for almost an hour there, and we're still only on Saturday, but I mean Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday, fun day.
That's what. Yes, she was.
Sunday, Jeff shows up.
Sunday, Jeff shows up, and Jeff is in his Cobb Vanth. Mike is in his Wedge Antilles. And we're right across from the 501st booth, guys. So the 501st is across the hall, and we've got Star Wars character in their booth yelling, come and take pictures with the Predators.
You know what's better than a picture on a speeder bike? Picture of a Predator on a speeder bike.
I love when that guy said that. I was like, yeah, cool, but I ain't getting on that in this armor.
Yeah.
Like, forget it.
Yeah,
that was very good, but that guy, their mouthpiece,
He was good.
he was fantastic. I mean,
who was the best was the guy playing the stormtrooper in the stormtrooper for charity booth.
Oh, that guy was awesome.
Yeah,
I've trooped with that guy quite a few times, and yeah, he brings it every time. He's a super good dude.
He was amazing.
Yeah.
I don't even know what else to say. I mean, I went and I shot him a little bit, and just for the hell of it, because they're like, "Oh, come and shoot him," and they want, yeah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah.
I do find, yeah,
he was
I
genius.
do
He
find
was
with
genius.
with the 501st crowd definitely depends on where you are and where they've come from, because that 501st contingent that was mostly from London and then points west. So guys from Chatham, guys from Windsor. I don't think there were any of the Toronto-based 501st, which seems to be where most of the dickholes reside for the 501st.
Fair enough.
So I do have a much better experience with the 501st guys that are in London and then points west. They seem to be a little bit more.
Yeah, look, we make
Kinda
fun of
got
the
that-
501st, but
yeah.
at the end of the day, most of them are okay. It's there's always a couple bad apples, and there's always going to be that everywhere, and we rag on them, but listen, they were really good about it, and a couple of them after the show came up to us and says, "Hey, it was really awesome to have you guys across the hall." They're like, it brought traffic, and the ambiance was amazing, and they enjoyed having us just as much as we enjoyed having them there.
Yeah,
So
it worked really well for
it
everyone.
did. It really did. Rachel said I only wore the headpiece because it was a little difficult to move in the EVA.
EVA.
Oh, EVA. Oh,
yeah. Actually, she was showing me her costume from Saturday, and she was showing me the bodice piece that she had made in fashion and everything else. And yeah, she did a heck of a job. What about Saturday night, the cosplay contest?
It's that native guy saying forgot to cover Saturday cosplay contest. We didn't talk about the cosplay contest. To be fair, I didn't really see a lot of it. I know that the Mando won. Groot in London came in second, and I forget who came in third. Amazing cosplays. That Mando was very good. Very good Mando.
I forget his name. I'm sorry, but he's in the chat. Thor was a worthy cosplay. I think he came in. That was his first time at a con. His first cosplay, I believe.
Was he the one that came in third?
I don't know if he came in third, but I think he came in first or second in like one of the other categories.
Oh, I see.
So both him and Groot placed in that. Yep.
And speaking of Groot, can we talk about how great it was to have him at the booth on Sunday, especially filling in for you guys whenever you guys would get out?
It was awesome. Yeah. I mean, it was great to have him there because he brings just as much traffic as we do.
Especially the kids, right?
Especially the kids.
My goodness.
And it was fantastic to be able to step away from the booth and go do other stuff and still have somebody there to entertain people and take pictures with people and still have, you know what I mean? Like, as silly as that sounds, we want people to be able to take that on. You know what I mean? We want people to take advantage of. You've got a spot to come and take pictures at, right?
Yeah,
come and hang out.
Yeah, for sure.
And when people say, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" Yeah, jump into the booth and take a picture with people. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
That's what it's there for, right?
Even if you're some weird guy wearing an Iron Man suit that we don't know that hangs out there all day.
Yeah, and you know what? And that was fine. Like,
that was fine.
He was harmless. I know. We were just kind of.
I mean, at first I was like, "Who the heck is this?" But
I still don't know who that was, by the way. I don't know.
At the end of the day, that was completely.
Does anybody
cool.
know who the Iron Man was in our booth on Sunday? That just stayed.
The best part about that guy, what I liked about that guy, and I don't know why, but his whole suit was falling apart, and he didn't care.
He didn't give a shit.
He didn't give a shit.
But he was like, "I'm so good looking, it doesn't matter." I'm like, "Well, at least you're humble about it."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Smoky Jam. Jamie says the 501st had some great dudes. Loki Quinn says, "Wait. What about Saturday night? You forgot about Saturday night."
I don't know what they're talking about, the Saturday night thing.
So the Saturday night thing.
Like
so after the con.
Oh, I guess. Okay.
We were all beat, and we didn't feel like making dinner or whatever, so we all went out for dinner. And we all got a little silly, and we really actually got to meet 3 Pint Mike for real.
Doesn't take much, does it?
Who was, singing karaoke minus the karaoke part. I mean,
so lonely,
so lonely, so lonely. Listen, you had to be there, but I mean, listen, we had a great time. Mike's a blast. I mean, I don't know that I've laughed that hard in so long. Jen at one point was like, "Oh my god, my face is hurting from laughing." We had a really, really good time. What was the new nickname we came up for Mike? I forget now. Ah, damn it. We came up with a new nickname for Mike Elwell.
All I can think of are the existing ones. 3-Pint Mike and the El Quattro team, but there's 6 of us.
Hey, Man Legend Heroes in the house. Dicko reporting for duty. What's up, bud?
Speaking of Dick Holes, it's Nick.
And Nick, are you going to be at the Fear Mall this weekend? I'm assuming you are. I'm going to try to drop by. I mean, I won't be in costume, but I'm still going to try to drop by and say hi to everybody and, grab coffee and all that stuff. For those of you don't know, a Fear Mall is a outdoor vendor thing set up for Halloween at the Deadly Grounds Cafe. So they got a big giant parking lot there, so they can have like an outdoor mall type setup where people can go and shop. And it's going to be a lot of Halloween stuff, a lot of horror themed stuff. They're calling it Fear Mall. It's put together by the gentleman that runs Superzuka. If you've been to the Deadly Grounds Cafe, Superzuka is like a little store that's inside the cafe that sells all sorts of merch and mugs and costumes and so on and so forth, who also happens to have a really, really nice Predator mask, like the mask of the face of the Predator. So
that might actually be gone now. I think they were planning on replacing that space with something else, but
so they didn't. It is gone. He took it home because they did it as something else in the window setup for Halloween.
Right. Is it coming back?
I think it might be coming back eventually. Yes.
Pretty good.
I mean, it's his. The mask is his. So I assume it will be coming back. Corey J. Carter says, you guys being stacked together seem to work really well. If one of you wasn't yelling, the other was. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you're talking about the 501st and us being next to each other. I think it did really work well, I think.
I think it did.
I think from a distance, people would see the 501st and be like, ooh, Star Wars. And then they would hear us and they'd turn around and be like, oh, shit, Predators.
Fight each other.
I think actually it might have been the other way around. I think they saw like, oh, look at those cool Predators. Oh, I guess there's some Star Wars guys over there too.
Thor's Worthy saying third in novice. He got third in novice cosplay. Well, that's amazing anyway.
Well, that's what Rachel Z is saying, that she came in first.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was my first time.
It was my first time using foam. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Very cool. Congratulations.
Congrats, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Good job, guys. Absolutely.
Smoky Jam says, Steve, Groot was rad. He really was. He was a cool dude.
Steve's the best. Steve and his wife and his 14 kids. Like, he's like the best.
Yeah, I didn't know that they were his kids and his wife, and at what point they're hanging around the booth, and I'm like, why are these people hanging around the booth?
Who are all these kids?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, I see her walking to the back to our change room, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I walk in there, and she's helping him getting out of his Groot suit. I'm like, oh, sorry.
But when we did the premiere for Thor: Love and Thunder, and I was Captain America, and he was Groot or whatever at Imagine Cinemas here in London, and he had the whole darn Partridge Family bus with him. It was great.
Is he in the chat? I don't think he's in the chat.
I don't think he's in the chat. He's not here tonight. No.
Yeah. We talked about doing some Arduino and LEDs, and I just maybe Thor can let him know. I got it right here.
Nice.
Yes. It's a native guy says I had emceeing the. I assume he meant I was emceeing the event. I'm guessing you're talking about the cosplay contest, and if that was you, that's awesome. You should check out our Facebook page. We've got a ton of pictures of the cosplay contest. So our photographer, although we couldn't make it to watch the cosplay contest, he did, and he took a bunch of pictures. So there's a bunch of pictures of you and the cosplayers. So if you guys were in the cosplay contest, make sure you go check out our Facebook page. There's a bunch of pictures there. It's a native guy is correcting. You had fun emceeing the cosplay event, so I guess it was you. Yeah, so that's awesome.
Yeah, he gave us a shout out, even though we couldn't get on stage because we didn't know we had.
Yeah, so we hadn't registered. So I guess you have to register ahead of time for these things, right? And we're like trying to figure out, okay, like, can we get in on this? Like, how are we supposed to do this? And that's where somebody was like, oh, no, you had to register ahead of time. And he's on stage on the mic and he sees us and he's like, oh, Predators are coming up. And we're like, well, no, sorry, we're not. We never registered for the contest. But that was cool anyway.
Yep.
So yeah, we had a great time. I mean, we've been on, guys, for over an hour. So highlights for you guys. Best part of the show.
I mean, it was pretty. Let's be honest here. It was pretty cool to meet Dane and Dakota and having them stop by our booth. I think the highlights for me are always just being able to like meet and hang out with all the other cosplayers. Like, I think that's one of the great things about our booth and the experience we bring is just sort of the atmosphere and what we set up to allow people to come and chat and hang out and interact with other people. Honestly, that's what it is for me. Just being able to meet new people like Steve and all the other cosplayers. Hanging out with, Ricardo and Dana and Dakota was fun and all, but it's more about meeting new people for me.
Yeah, that's fair. Jeff?
Yeah, same. Yeah, just the booth, watching you guys work your magic and bringing the people in and helping with all of that. That it sounds corny and cheesy as fuck, but that's why we're there, right?
Yeah.
For me, I love doing the podcast when we do the live and the walk around. That's always a highlight for me. Getting to talk to the cosplayers and talk to the vendors, and we got to talk to Matt as well. And yeah, I think we offer something that most of the other ones, not really anybody else is doing, is giving people that experience of what it's like to be at the con live through our window. And I think that's an invaluable service that we're providing. So
you are amazing at that. I will say this. I am awkwardly weird around face-to-face people. Like, we could talk like this over, internet, and when I'm face-to-face with people, like, I tend to be a little bit weird. And you, man, are just fucking on all the time. Like, you're on fire, man. You're just friggin' go, 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 go. Dude, you are amazing. When we're doing these lives at the shows, that's why I'm constantly giving the mic back to you, because you're so friggin'
I just feel terrible because I feel like I'm hogging the whole goddamn podcast.
Don't. I mean, you're so good at it, man. I mean,
Another piece of that I just want to interject here was when when Dane and Dakota were doing their panel on stage, and we got you in there to ask a question. Like, you nailed that as well too. Like,
thanks, man.
Perfect.
Oh yeah.
I just like talking to people. That's this whole thing is born of just me interacting with people. So that's all it is, just channeling that in there and asking the questions that I'd like to be asked if someone's interviewing me for a cosplay thing, right? So yeah, gents, 5 a.m. comes way too early. No shit. I've already been at work for an hour by 5 a.m. We'll see you again in the future. We'll keep you posted on what's happening with my alien builds. We need to find this dude's socials.
Yeah,
I need to get in touch with him.
Yes,
sure.
Tony.
Let us know who you are on Instagram.
Yeah, please connect with us on Instagram so we know what your Instagram is, so we can start.
Oh, I think he originally messaged from his Facebook. Maybe I can throw him on there. Yeah, hey guys, Tony DeBellis from Facebook. Okay, maybe I'll throw it on from there.
Cool. There you go. There you go.
That dude's brain. Anyways, yeah, we should probably start wrapping her up. Right? What about you, JS? What was your highlight? Highlights?
For me, it's very, very hard. I mean, it was such a great weekend. I mean, from meeting and filming that little silly clip with Robert Picardo to Dane and Dakota, not just meeting them, but them taking time out of their day to come to our booth and hang out with us at our booth, to meeting Matthew Taylor. If you guys don't know who Matthew Taylor is, he's another monster actor, and stuntman.
Cool dude.
Yeah.
Super cool dude.
Super cool dude.
What blew my mind is when we got to the booth and they knew who we were. I'm like, wait, these guys are celebrities at this show. How the fuck do they know who we are? And then his girlfriend, wife, manager, whatnot, she's like, oh yeah. She's like, we follow you. And she turns towards Jen and she goes, I know who you are. I'm Jen too. So I was like, oh, wait a second. They actually know who we are.
Yes.
So
went to follow them, and they're already following us.
Yeah, it was follow back. I was like, oh shit, they're already following us. Like,
awesome.
So Matthew was awesome. I didn't know he was from the GTA. So he is in the GTA. So we pitched him to come on the podcast one day. So you can expect, hopefully, Matthew to come on the podcast at one point, and then hopefully, if he's local, maybe if we do some sort of a live event one day, maybe we can get him to show up or something. Yeah. I don't know. We're gonna talk to him and see if we can do something with it, because he was really cool. So that was
thanks guys in the chat. I appreciate that. It's that native guy, Ali, and even Stu. Stu paying me a compliment. I used to work with Stu. I've known Stu for I don't know how many years, and that might be the first compliment I've ever gotten from Stu. So thanks guys. Appreciate it. That's good. It's nice.
Oh, dude, you are amazing out there. You're an awesome MC.
No, guys. Who's amazing? You guys. I mentioned this before to you guys too. You guys in those suits tirelessly 4 and 5 and 6 hours out of a con. You can't see. You can barely breathe. You're pouring sweat. You're sore. You're on your feet the whole time. Your boots suck. Like I can't even. And you motherfuckers aren't getting paid for any of this shit. You're just doing it for the love of the game and to bring the experience to people. Guys, don't undersell that because that's everything. The booth isn't there without you guys in there and your Predators just murdering it every time we go out.
Well, and I really, really appreciate that. And we love to do it. We really do. I mean, I do anyway. I don't know about Rob.
Yeah.
I love doing it. Like I was saying earlier before we even gone live. It's hard not to love it when you step out of those curtains in that Predator suit and people lose their fucking minds. Like you feel like a rock star.
Yeah.
It's hard not to like that feeling. It's hard not to want to keep doing it. The flip side of it, Jeff, is you can say that as much as you want, but without you, without Jen, without Jamie, without Mike, without Megan, without everybody showing up, we don't have a booth. We're just a couple cosplayers walking the show.
Well, I'm not saying it's not a team effort. I just appreciate what you guys do because I know how much you suffer being in those costumes. So I just want you guys to know it's appreciated by us, by me, by everybody.
Well, appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I really do. Dr. Caber, I am not sure how you pronounce that. Oh, you guys were the Predators. Those were some sick cosplays. Thank you very, very much. Yes, we were the Predators. One's right here. If you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, you can see my Predator right there. I just put him back together today. I still hadn't unpacked anything. Like all my shit was still in bins.
Waluigi, and I took a picture with you. So cool.
Oh, you were Waluigi. It's funny. Somebody tagged you. Actually, it was Marianne. Tagged you in a picture today. Sam, right? I think your name's Sam. Marianne tagged you in the picture today. That was an amazing Waluigi. We got a great picture of him with a rose in his mouth. It was awesome.
The director of operations says, and I will continue, and they will continue to suffer because I won't let them stop. That's right.
Well, that's okay because you know what? If it wasn't for the people behind us, I don't know that. Again, like I said, we would just be cosplayers, right? And we'd still just be doing, a day at Fan Expo and a day at Comic-Con, and that's that, right? It's everybody coming together that has enabled us to be able to actually try to put on a show, right? Like to provide a space and create an atmosphere at these conventions. It's sometimes intimidating. So this is something I was thinking about, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but when you're a cosplayer, especially if you're a younger cosplayer and you're just getting into cosplay, it could sometimes be intimidating going to some of these shows and seeing some of the professional cosplayers and some of the Iron Mans walking around and the Groots in London walking around and the having a place in an environment where you can just hang out and just chill and just cosplay. And just be yourself. A safe space for you guys to just do your thing. That's really, at the end of the day, I think what the Geeks Company is about at the shows. Obviously, we're a lot more than that in the grand scheme of things, but at the shows, I feel like that's what people want and what people like, and I'm 100% there for it.
I've only been doing this since Fan Expo 2021. That was my first time in cosplay at a con, so I'm very new to this. And what we seem to be, the atmosphere we're creating, like no one else seems to be doing that. Did that exist in the past? And I'm surprised that.
Yeah, it kind of not really. I mean, I think that was what Sean kind of wanted to do initially. Sean Ward, but I think Sean's a friend, so I'm not trying to be. I'm not gonna. I don't think ultimately that's what happened, right? Unfortunately, so there's our buddy Steve.
There he is.
I think Andrew said it best. From Fan Expo, he said, "You gave wayward cosplayers a place to be, a place to go, a place to hang out."
Yeah, that quote stuck in my mind.
Yeah. So. Agreed. I think that's what we have to do moving forward. And it doesn't matter what your level, what I always hear about this level shit. I've been in this game for nearly 7 years and I always hear about levels and bullshit.
Yeah, I see that in people's posts.
And a lot of the grief I give the 501st is from a lot of that too, right? Like you're not at the level to be part of our group. Like you need to be this and you're that. Like that's never going to be us. We can have the love in for the 501st that we want or the other groups that are like that, but we don't care. You could be just wearing like a Deadpool hoodie and calling it a cosplay. We're like, cool, you're a cosplayer.
Yeah,
come hang out with us at our booth. Like we don't like. There's no barrier to entry to come hang out with the Geeks and Co. Right? That's what we're doing. It's not just about entertaining. It's giving people a place to congregate and have fun. As long as we can still get people through the booth, then come hang out at the booth. Like that's why we're there.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Right? Yep.
Grid London says, gonna have to rewatch. Yes, sir.
You come up a lot, Steve. You come up a lot.
We talked about you quite a bit.
Yeah,
wear your shit and enjoy. Exactly. Just wear your shit and enjoy. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, Michael, but a lot of people, there's a lot of people that don't cosplay because they feel weird cosplaying. Like, if that makes sense. They want to do it, but they don't do it because they don't want people to laugh at them. And it's like, well, fuck those people. Just come and hang out. Like come and cosplay.
Yep.
And you don't have to cosplay to come to a con, but if you want to dress up, then you're cosplaying. It doesn't matter what you're wearing.
Oh, and by the way, you don't have to be in cosplay to come hang out at the booth either.
No, you don't.
All you have to really do is not be an asshole.
Basically, that's what we're all about.
Right? That's it.
Yeah.
As long as you're not a raging dickhole, Nick.
Nick. So if you could
Nick's
cut.
No, that's fine. Nick is exception to the rule. You got to have one exception to the rule. That's Nick.
Okay, but there's only one Nick in this club.
What?
There's only one Nick in this club.
Agreed. No, that's fine. He only comes around infrequently anyway, so that's fine. He's mostly going to be Geeks and Co. Made my Comic-Con experience 100%. Was so glad to meet JS and Rob and hand out my boy Jeff. Steve, man, any fucking time, dude. Like literally anytime. We're in the same town, brother. We can hang out anytime you want.
And Steve, like I was telling your man Thor today, I just got my Arduinos today, so we'll chat about this in the future.
Yeah, Rob's got some stuff to figure out for me, so he needs to start learning Arduino coding.
Yeah, because we were chatting about that at the con. So,
oh, were you really now?
Yeah. He's actually ahead of me. He told me he already bought some Arduinos and he was just having some troubles getting it going. So I'm catching up to him. To be honest with you.
Yeah, we need to figure that out because if we do what I want to do, both our cosplays. Well, yours is mainly lights. Hey. Mine needs actual.
I ordered 2, JS. I got you covered.
No coding needed, boys. Lots of copy and paste. Yeah, and that's the advantage of Arduinos. There's so many people working with Arduino now that you can pretty much just go online and look up for the code for what you want to do. And
I'm going to cover this in a future build video, perhaps. But
Jeff is sleepy.
You need to start filming some of that. Yes. Sleepy Jeff. Yes, we're gonna let Jeff go. We've been on for over like an hour and 22 minutes, guys. It's 8:20. We're way past our bedtime. Well, the old man's bedtime anyway.
Listen,
guys.
That's fair. That's true.
First of all, thanks so much everybody for watching and sticking with us. We still have 16 people watching, which is awesome. Actually, we've got 5 people watching us still on Facebook and Instagram, and then 16 people.
Wow, that's awesome.
15 people now on Instagram. But guys, thanks for sticking it with us. Thanks for watching. This is really the end of the con season for the Geeks and Company. Jeff, you are going to 2 events next weekend.
This weekend, sir, in 2 days, sir. Not next weekend. This fucking weekend. Saturday, I will be in Renfest at Oxford Renfest in Dorchester, Ontario. I will be with Crazy Mike Cosplay and Cosplins. And on Sunday, I will be at Hamilton Comic-Con. I will be with my brother Ed, Snowhawk Cosplay. He will be debuting his Deadpool, and I will be digging out Cable, which I haven't worn in like 3.5 years. So, yeah. And then, hopefully, I think that's the end of the con, the con season. Yeah,
it really is for us.
No longer the old guy. Thanks, Keith. I need some help in that, brother, because these young whippersnappers give me all the grief.
Yeah, I mean, for us, like I said earlier, we might I might go to the Fear Mall on the weekend just to check it out and hang out, but I'm not going to be dressing up or anything like that. Yep. We might, if they wanted to have us again this year, do Halloween at the Deadly Grounds, or at least the Saturday before Halloween. I don't know.
Even if not, we're going to do what we normally do for the last few years, local. We're going to go around and where we're at and interact with local businesses and whatnot.
But that's about it. After that, it's getting back to making videos and builds and new costumes.
We're working on stuff in the off season for getting ready for March at the least, and then Fan Expo at the most, right?
Yeah.
So Yeah, man. We got plans. Kids.
Yeah, Rob, anything you want to shout out or talk about or mention before we log off here?
No, not really. I think I've called it all out. I'm good. Pass it on.
Alrighty. Oh my God. Groot in London says, pulled my abductor muscle in the left leg. That costume was something else.
Love of the game, buddy.
Yeah, it was something else. Hey, guys, as always, if you want to be part of the podcast, make sure you get in touch with us, especially if you have a specific topic you want to discuss. Get in touch with us, even if you don't want to be the one talking about it, but it's just something that you would like to hear us talk about. Send us a message. Let us know what these topics are. If you want to be on the podcast, shoot us a message. We'll set up a time for you guys to be. It's that native guy says me. Message us either at Geeks & Co. or Messiah Complex Cosplay. We'll figure something out. And in the meantime, I think that's going to be it for today. We're almost an hour and a half in. I think it's that time to say, make sure you stay geeky. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
And for